I, uh, I have a background as an architect and structural engineer. I've done a lot of design work around the world. We would actually tell a client that they wouldn't owe us any money if we couldn't get them a contract with a licensed general contractor within the budget that we set, within the program that we set, and within the design that they want. And that was quite a challenge. And we were doing that when I was a fledgling architect and structural engineer, and we succeeded at it. And quite frankly, doing those kind of things and taking on some tremendous challenges from people like Lockheed Georgia Company and Delta Airlines, where they had tremendous facility needs and a very short time to design and deliver those facilities. And being able to succeed in doing those things is what gave rise to our evolving what today is called program management and construction management. Those two disciplines came out of that effort. I've had the opportunity to join a small firm back in the early 60s that had a dynamo as a partner in that firm, who wanted to do all kinds of great things. The most interesting part of his philosophy was we as architects should be able to put forth a program of requirements based upon an owner's needs, put a budget to that program of requirements, and execute a design within the parameters of that program and budget, and succeed in doing it. That just furthered my education. The foundation of the education, other than my technical education, was what I did in the Navy. I mean, that was absolutely unbelievable. You know, our ship would pull into some place in the Mediterranean, and we would put on a party for the local people, and I had to plan that party, and we would have 2,000 people at this party. That kind of experience, whether you are planning a project, a building, a railroad, whatever it is, whatever you're planning, and you're the executive operations manager of that, the same things that you have to do are for a party for 3,000 or 4,000 people in a foreign country that you don't know anything about. The logistics of getting that done are not too much different from the logistics of doing a major project for some corporation. I found myself not only managing projects, but I was managing a growing A&E business, and it kept getting bigger and bigger. And one day I went to my senior partner and I said, I need an MBA to do what I'm doing. He thought I was crazy. So about 2 years later, after we continued to grow, he said, I think you were right. I'm going to Harvard and get into the advanced management program. And when I finish, you're going to go. So both of us went to the Harvard advanced management program. Those experiences helped me in my background be able to not only do the projects, but able to deal with the business aspects of architecture and engineering. I and my team would sit down with an owner and understand what their goals are, what their objectives are, what their constraints are, and develop a management plan to meet their goals and objectives and overcome the constraints, or get around the constraints, or eliminate the constraints, whatever we had to do to meet their goal. It was a matter of understanding what that client's needs are, putting a program around that, building a management plan to meet those objectives and their final goal, and being able to do all that within a fixed budget. As the operations manager, the project manager, you have to be able to juggle all of those divergent desires from the owner, from the user, and when you get into the public sector, the public. So if there's anything that you as an operations manager need to understand and be able to do, is you've got to have great patience. And I'm not saying that facetiously. I honest to God believe that. You've got to have great people skills, and you have to have great patience. This is something you learn as you go along, but these were the kinds of things that I passed on to the young men and women that I mentored. The first thing that we always do when we go into a place, whether we go into a different city, a different state, or a different country, is you've got to get in there and do the best you can to understand the marketplace. You got to understand the norms of the marketplace. How do they deal with suppliers and subcontractors? How they typically contract with those people, and so that you can build a management plan to deal with all of those pieces and parts and do it within the norm of the country. The clients today are getting more savvy about that there are various ways of delivering a project. The hottest topic today in the area of project delivery is integrated project delivery. It's where the owner, a very sophisticated owner, and an architect and a contractor and all of the engineers involved and all of the subcontractors involved and suppliers involved are one team. They get in one big room and they deliver the project. I mean, it's a very interesting and approach. It can save a lot of time and money, in my opinion. The owners are getting far, far more sophisticated. And, you know, they've got, most of them now have, a lot of them now have their own facilities department that are staffed with architects and engineers and contractors who know what they're doing. And consequently, the marketplace out there is far more sophisticated than it's ever been before. I've worked in France. I had an office in London, England, and had 100 people in it for 10 years. I did the American Embassy in Lisbon, Portugal. I did a Navy pier in Athens, Greece. You know, I had an office in Amman, Jordan for 10 years. We designed 2 hospitals and the School of Engineering. I've done 3 projects in Cairo, Egypt. I've worked in Central America. I mean, all over. The Philippines. So this goes on and on. You as a young architect coming along have got to prepare yourself both from a design education as well as from a business education point of view. So there's one school where you can get a master's of architecture and a master's of management simultaneously. So that's great. So our whole industry is getting more sophisticated today.